Hello and welcome to Mouse House Plus episode 36, brought to you by TPEnetwork.com. I'm Hank,
And I'm John.
and we are going to be recapping what if Killmonger saved or rescued Tony Stark. Oh my goodness, I'm ready to get into this, John.
Wait, I think this is more like, a Killmonger kills the Marvel MCU universe.
Yeah.
What if?
Yes. What if instead of Deadpool or whatever?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Well, Kunar province, Afghanistan. We have that whole ambush sequence on Tony Stark, except Killmonger saves Tony Stark. So that is the whole, the whole motivating force behind this episode.
Yep. No Iron Man, because without him being in prison, no Iron Man. So,
and none of that poisoning either.
No, that's right.
I was like, what? I thought they might at least do that part and then have him rescue him, but they did not. So it was pretty interesting. Now, when Tony has that press conference, it's almost an exact opposite, a reversal of the press conference he ends up having. So Killmonger is gonna get a job with Tony Stark, and Obadiah Stane gets revealed at the press conference, and when Happy just wrecks him, that was one of the best moments of this episode. But the rest of this sequence did not make sense when Tony offers Killmonger the COO position, and I was like, "This, you're going to be Butch, and I'll be Sundance," and I was like, "That's the second time I've had that reference this week, so that's weird." A weird aside, but that part made no sense to me. What about you, John?
Actually, it made perfect sense to me. It's Tony drinking. And he's impulsive and always does stuff off the cuff. I mean, look at through the other couple movies. I mean, he jumped in a race car and started racing his own car and fired the driver. So for him to be like, I'm gonna make him the CEO because he's the one that basically pointed out that the old CEO didn't know what he's the one that set me up. Oh, dude, when he's like, I dumped all that on the internet. Oh yeah, that was listen.
He did too.
This whole transaction, and they have the voice actress who that's the girl that he ended up like hooking up with there in the first movie, but. What was it? They said, "Oh, what did you take from this?" He's like, "Never go to a place without a Four Seasons."
Yes. I never go to a place without a Four Seasons.
He goes, were you injured? He goes, no, but I spilled my 26 McKellen. That's a war crime in itself.
I was like, see, he's not humbled. None of the good stuff from Tony Stark comes through now. It's all just the bad parts of him.
Oh man, it was fun. It was good. And then basically him turning around and doing that. That's why, like, everyone was kind of like, whoa. And even Killmonger was like, hold a second here. But I mean, when we start getting down the road here and see how this is all planned out, I mean, I don't know if he knew that would happen, but I bet you he probably guessed it. But oh man, let's keep going because I'm just gonna gush over this whole thing.
Okay. Pepper heads to talk to Rhodey about Killmonger, and I do have a beef. I'll wait till later on it's on that kind of a premise right there, though. So Tony's showing Killmonger the 3D printed Lamborghini. I was like, could you make me one, please?
Yeah.
And they kind of bond over daddy issues, and Killmonger has a thesis for a combat droid. It could save lives. Where have we heard that one before? Suit of armor around the world, protecting the world.
Hey, it's either going to be that or it's going to be the world's biggest Gundam.
Yeah.
It's very identical. He's like, I like anime. I like anime. This is great. Oh man,
we're bros. They have that building montage, and the tests were so funny in that. I was like, this is really good. And then when Tony mentions that arc reactor, did you laugh out loud or no?
No, yes. Whenever he's like, that's a dumb idea. I was
like, and then we see Killmonger play his first card when he reveals that vibranium. I was like, oh, this starts to get more sinister after this.
All right, so this just gets weird, and this is something I'm going to have to do like a deep dive in. Okay, so then they do the expansion, and you get to see the molecule. Now, this is taken from Iron Man 2. Now, I know that through Iron Man 2, people have told me that, oh, the molecule that he made was vibranium, but that makes no sense because the vibranium, his dad had the shield. So if his dad had the shield, then he would at least have had a sample to be able to register the fact that it's a new element on the periodic table. So whatever, I really don't know what it is he created in Iron Man 2 specifically to power the arc reactor, but whenever they expanded the energy output of the ring, then it looked very identical to that. So this is the only part in the entire episode that I'm lost on, but what he said is right. He's like, oh, you can use that to power, a unit, based upon blah, 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 science mumbo jumbo and comic book stuff. And of course it works. So
I apologize for those who heard my AC this entire time. I forgot to turn it off. That was my fault. Well, Tony wants to contract Claw, but Pepper and Killmonger axe that idea for the time being. So instead of him going in to contact him, it's gonna be Rhodey, which I thought would be even worse, wouldn't it?
Well, no, because he was the American liaison to all these different like divisions like this. So in this case, it wouldn't have been Stark Enterprises going and trying to barter with it, but then the government, or the government trying to barter, which it looks different when it's the government trying to barter with to get something like that versus an individual where they're trying to stay out of that. So yeah, no, that made sense. And the thing is, since that's kind of Rhodey's role was to do that, like that. I mean, he was would be sent in to do these kind of things.
Okay.
So he was basically doing his job. Just I'm not going to say the most outstanding business person at all, but I know you can't pick every single person you have to deal with.
Now, when Rhodey meets him, he's like, Tony spends $10 million on a slow Tuesday. I love that because Claw is amazing.
Yeah.
He's another one that has done a lot of method acting, I would call it. And so he comes across perfectly in this animated series, in my opinion.
Yeah, Gollum does a really good job whenever he's acting out there. Like he plays that out so. Oh, I'm sorry. Never mind. Yeah. Claw. No, I know.
Did he say my precious?
He should be like, hey, how do you like all of my precious?
Oh my goodness. As Claw shows the goods, Black Panther shows up and starts taking out his men. But Killmonger takes down Black Panther with that what was the device? It was almost like that device they tried to use on the Hulk almost, wasn't it? That sonic device?
Now, actually, that's from Iron Man 1. That was one of the things that Jebediah was trying to create.
Obadiah?
He walked in. Yeah, Obadiah, sorry. Remember he walked in with a little handheld one and then Tony went got stunned and fell over, and that's when he took the arc reactor out. Yes. This is the weaponized version of that.
Interesting. Very good. Very good.
Oh, dude, the writers for this episode hit so much on the mark that you can call back to where it came from with just I get this. And you know what? Now, and since we're leading up to this next scene, that's the other reason why they needed, in Killmonger's case, needed Rhodey to do this, because more than likely, Wakanda has tabs on everybody, especially specifically governments, because why not? So when they get the word that they're going to get I was about to say uranium, vibranium, stash, that triggers the Wakanda alert saying, wait a second, what vibranium stash? And then they're like, this is probably the stuff that got stolen from us already. So that would be how they bring in Black Panther to get these people in the same place at the same time.
A community member has a great thing that he pointed out, and I'll save it for feedback, but we'll kind of circle back around to this whole ordeal.
Okay.
So Killmonger takes down Black Panther, and then he turns on everybody there. He kills a roadie, and it appears that he is working with Claw at this moment anyway.
Oh, dude, and when he comes out, he's like, "I'm not playing poker with you." Whoa.
And then T'Chaka is on the news, and Killmonger is found out by Tony, and he made the combat droid, and it's after Killmonger. He made that combat droid that is kind of mimics his fighting style and stuff. And I was like, oh my goodness. But Killmonger takes down the droid and then kills Tony.
Yep. And my thing here is like, you know what? He trained him in fighting styles, but didn't train him with hand-to-hand combat with weapons. So as soon as he basically picks up anything, it's different for the robot to have to try and deal with, because he never trained him that. So yeah, so whenever he like rolls around the floor and grabs that like vibranium spear, and just goes to town with that thing, I'm just like, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna call it. They really underused his character in Black Panther. So, I mean, this series or this episode, and I know there's got to be a continuation of this, is their retribution to that character, because he is awesome. And then we get to see all the scars, and then he adds Tony to the lineup, and man, it's.
Now Pepper and Happy aren't happy. Get it? General Ross is all in on going to war with Wakanda. Man, they make him the stooge they make him in the MCU, in my opinion. In this,
he's not gonna change. But I like that. He's like, I'm running the company now.
In Africa, Claw takes Killmonger to that energy fence for Wakanda, and then gets killed for his troubles.
Well, hold on. Let's rewind back a second. When he's coming off the plane and he's like, "Man, this is awesome. I like my vibranium go to good use here." And he's just like, I'm like, man, he is character acting the crap out of this.
Yeah. Yes, he is good.
Yeah. So, but yeah, then he rolls up, and so so what do? He turned on his high beams, and that's how you could tell that there's a force field there. So what I don't understand though is there's a force field there. So how does he take Killmonger's body up the hill and shows up, with him? How do you get past the force field? Do they have
isn't it like the movie when the guards, when they sense you getting close to the thing, they come to see what you're up to?
Okay. Yeah. You know what?
I don't know.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's at the beginning of the movie for the Black Panther movie. Okay. Never mind. You're absolutely right. It's down as it's coverage with the hologram, but not defensive unless it's turned on.
Of course.
Okay.
And then it triggers, like a proximity, I would assume. And then they come see what you're doing, and he could show his lip, or he could say, "Here's that bad guy. I'm going to take him, to see the king,"
or
and all that stuff. Yeah. So he announces himself as Injadaka, son of Prince Najobu, and he meets T'Chaka, and he tricks them to let the robots in. This is where I thought the things went off the rails.
Well, wait, did you know that and I do not know this character's name at all. So, but it would be the mother, the T'Challa's mother, or the queen. I didn't know she was a general. When he turns around and was like, "So what do you say, general?" And then you see the next scene and she's like leading like the charger, like.
Yeah, she's Angela Bassett in real life, and she plays Ramonda.
I was like, she's bad A, man. Jeez, look at her go.
Ramonda.
But the plan made sense, because that the area is isolated on purpose, and so everything that he did was completely on par. And although I do find it funny that nobody caught him say, "But I want more." And then he pushed.
That was stupid. I was just gonna get to that, but that is really what I thought was stupid. That nobody can, he's standing he's standing right next to him. He's
Well,
in between them.
not only that, but he's standing next to someone who doesn't even trust him, which is more than likely looking over his shoulder too.
Right. I'm gonna need more than that.
Yeah.
I
So
was like, okay. So the robot's powered down, and then he pulls his swerve by reactivating them remotely, and they didn't hear him say that little thing, that little quip, and he tricks them by saving some of their people in battle, which is always the same trope used in movies to gain trust, is to fight side by side against a common enemy. So then he becomes the next, just like that, he becomes the next Black Panther and drinks the herb, and he goes to talk to T'Challa, who he has killed in this What If. And that was very interesting. That don't they often go talk to those spirits? Because in the movie, or do you got to be near death or have drinking the herb?
I think that's it.
Okay, because I was gonna say, like in the movie, he went and talked, and he wasn't dead. He went and talked to him.
Yeah, but I mean, that was part of the initiation, is that you get to commune with all the past leaders, or sorry, Black Panthers, not necessarily leaders. And in this case, the reason why they gave it to him, because, well, first, they don't have a Black Panther. Second, the birthright Black Panther is dead. So again, they don't have a Black Panther. He shows up.
Shuri.
Okay. See, here's the thing, is that I'm pretty sure that because of, what he was able to show them, and Shuri, I don't think is the age that they want, the Black Panther to be, but I am sure that when we pick this back up, that she's going to end up being a Black Panther. But I mean, it's easy. I mean, as the king, who's proud of his nephew for actually help saving them, he saves his wife's life, saves all these other people, and proves himself. So clearly, yes, there was a quick jump from point A to point B, as in him saving people and proving himself to be, and then going up and looking at the sunrise to where he becomes a Black Panther. But I mean, we know that there's more. There has to be more in there than just that. But even if they did the entire fighting thing, you have to ask for challengers, because of what he did at that battle. They could all be like, no, we're good. He's already proved himself. He saved all of us and helped stop this. We're cool like that.
All right.
So, but yeah, no, his communing with him, being like, you have to live with yourself either out there or in here, or just something to that aspect. And he just, he steps out, and he's got that, what was it? Not Black Panther. It was the black. It looked like a leopard, like the black leopard outfit is what.
Yeah.
And man, I mean, but that battle scene was awesome.
Everything
that happened in there is awesome. And then once she reached out, she threw that spear through him and goes, pulled it out of them. I was like, this is great.
Now, lastly, General Ross is getting strikes in place to hit Wakanda, and Shuri goes to see Pepper Potts. They are going to expose Killmonger, and I'm like, there must be an after credits. Nope, I'm just watching a What If episode, I guess.
No, I kind of think that this is going to be, they're going to pick this back up. I have a feeling that they're going to pick this back up, because
next week or in a future episode. Maybe they only have 3 left.
It maybe next week, because I mean, you saw that at some point in time, we're going to get all the whatever's available right now, Avengers in an Avenger movie style. So maybe the entire thing is to stop Killmonger, because I mean, he's basically going to bring the entire a Wakandan army to bear against the world, and we already know that they've got the upper hand. They're going to basically rule the roost and just wipe out everybody and anyone. So here's what I think. I think that we're going to see we're going to see a new Black Panther, and we're going to see rescue. That's what I'm hoping to see.
Cool.
Because why else would we head Pepper Potts and what's her name?
Shuri.
Shuri, thank you. To go and start this ending like that, because typically whenever we have a what if ending, it's usually on the either the upper or the downer. Yeah, they don't have to worry about explaining more, but they leave it very open ended. This isn't very open ended. This is clearly to a point where you're like, okay, well, we could. There is way more possibilities that they can go with. And I think that they're going to show us more of the destruction of what's to come. I do believe that we're going to get more of this episode.
All right, let's get into our ratings. I went first last week. It sounds like you liked this episode way more than I did.
I'm giving it a 9, man. I had this.
Really?
It had everything I wanted in it. Completely changed so many different stories all the way through just because he shows up to save Tony. And it's funny because you're like going down, you're like, well, yeah, and here he did this and there they did that, and this person never talked with this person, but the only reason why now all these people are coming together is because of the fact that he saved Tony's life at the beginning, and now he is where he wanted to be at the end of Black Panther. And we don't even have a Tony Stark to try and stand up to him. So I like this. This did everything that I wanted a what if to do.
Okay.
Flip the script and give me a whole bunch of anime robots to blow up.
Okay. I did not like this as much. It just made other people seem really dumb. Like they couldn't put 2 and 2 together to figure certain things out. And I was like, what? So I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10.
Well, my only comment to that would be remember, we're going into these things automatically assuming that you can't trust anything that you're seeing because, we don't know what's about to happen. But in this world, how they're living it, they've got to play right by the rules. Why would anything look out of place as long as, if the government is playing it the way the government would normally would? They send people in to do this. They send robots in to do that. It all falls into place, based upon, them not knowing anything. But we know what's going on because we're the audience. And we already know going into this that something's going to be weird. And the entire thing was crazy.
It was crazy. I'm not going to say it wasn't crazy. It definitely was. And they got the voice actors to do the job, which was amazing that they got so many of the correct people to play the parts.
Yeah, and that is a big lineup of people that they had to get too.
Except for you couldn't get Tony, of course, the real Tony. Yeah. Couldn't get him for sure.
But here's the thing too. At the beginning of the episode, you notice how they were showing everyone all the people's names that were actually in it. I saw everyone from the get-go. There's Paul Bentley. There was he's gonna be the only person I'm gonna be able to think of the name right off the top of my head. Well, it doesn't matter. It's like they already showed everyone at the beginning of the episode, did it again at the end to be able to confirm everything, and it was cool.
It was very, very cool. Real quick, I want to send a shout out to Russ. Russ is our newest supporter, joining a lot of other ones, but the list that I've calculated, Esty in New York, Valco, Lawrence, Elizabeth, Wayne, and there's others I'm sure I have left off the list, so I shouldn't have probably went down a list, but I do want to say thank you for your support. And if you want to donate to independent media at tpenetwork.com, you can simply head to tpenetwork.com/join. And then there's lots of different options. You can do Patreon, PayPal, all kinds of stuff on there. And we greatly appreciate your support. It just helps mitigate some of the costs that we incur each and every month. All right. Let's go into feedback. I just had one piece of feedback, and I want to make a correction. So last week I said Chris made some interesting comments about what if, but it's actually Bradley, and I apologize for that. So Bradley, I'm sorry I got that wrong, and I did pull your comment for this week, and you get in full credit because this is a good one. Bradley says, I guess the writers for the new What If episode are hoping that people won't notice that Black Panther's family somehow hasn't kept up with the international news that Tony Stark was just saved by Killmonger and thus hired into his weapons division to make the plot happen. That's a good point, because that seems like something that a government of any nationality would keep up on.
Yeah.
Come on, you got to give him more credit than that.
I'm telling you, Tony is impulsive. Like he does it. I mean, we've seen 3 movies of him basically doing whatever the blank he wants to do, and not until as of lately did he, turn around and actually make up for himself. But I mean, that's it. I believe this. We saw him do other crazier things than this. I mean, remember, he was racing Happy in the first movie. Right. And it's just, he does weird off the cuff stuff. If he turns around and is like, no, I'm going to make this person, especially since he's drinking nonstop all the way through. So we don't even know if he's like sober during this entire time. I can believe it.
Okay. I'm on the opposite side of the fence. So I will have to just agree to disagree this week. John, anything else you want to talk about before we wrap her on up?
Oh, I really hope that this is a 2-parter. I really, really do.
If it isn't, if it ends up not being, will you be disappointed? Yes or no?
Yes, yep. I will be disappointed. This is something that I want to see continue, because if they're going to go down the extent of really wrecking this much of the MCU with this kind of a plot, we need to be able to see a little bit further down the road, because he's now the Black Panther and is probably going to start ruling over the army in regards to fighting back against the world. B, what is Shuri doing? What is Shuri and Pepper Potts going to do now?
Have they gone to the same universe more than once?
Actually, we don't know that. And I did watch the mid-season trailer leading up to the end, and it looks as though that some of this might be in the same universe, or the Watcher pulls everyone from different universes. I don't know to the extent, but it's. We're going to get a combination. They're going to do like a final episode for the season, which will be like an Avengers style event. And they'll create whatever the Avengers of now can be, but how, what world it's going to be on and what they're going to be facing, I'm not 100% sure. I mean, case in point, we've already seen the pictures of Gamora looking, in the dress armor of what Thanos was wearing. So, clearly she's more than likely going to end up playing the actual Thanos bad guy role, like leading up. So maybe it'll be her.
I mean, they're going to have to hurry up because there's only 3 episodes left, if I'm not mistaken.
No, what you're saying is right. So
it's going to have to fast. They're going to have to go fast.
And that's why I'm wondering if this episode right here is the start of like a connected line of episodes. Yeah. Okay. Because you can still do it. And if you're right, if it's still in the same universe, then at the end, you put it all together.
Yeah, I hope so. I will see. But Doctor Strange's universe is pretty small. So we'll just say that right there. All right. Next week, I will be out and John will be running the show. Him and Mel will be here on Mouse House Plus, episode 37. So we hope you will tune in for that.
Mm-hmm.
But for John, I'm Hank. Until the next time, we're signing off.
Bye, everybody.
TPE Network. There ain't nothing else like it.